In my attempt to watch the first episodes of all of the TV shows I grew up with, it was only a matter of time before I came to the Tweenies, and having now watched the first episode, Tweenie Band, I can see why this was a really popular show and why I absolutely loved it. Tweenie Band first aired in 1999, and the episode focuses on musical instruments. And I'll go through the episode, well, thoughts that I had in a chronological order. I will say I don't remember this episode. To be honest, I don't remember any episode specifically. I remember bits and pieces, but I couldn't recall any episode in its entirety. So that's something that interests me, that I remember the show a lot, but I also don't. But I did remember the Tweenie clock. And they press the Tweenie clock to tell them what kind of activity they're going to be. I think that's brilliant. It's a great interactive element for children watching it to try and guess what's going to happen next. And the first thing is music time, and they sing The Music Man, which is a really interactive song and encourages children to sing along. There's a lot of repetition, there are a lot of actions and hand movements that virtually any child can copy along with, which I think is brilliant. Then we very quickly get some character establishment. We establish that Milo is noisy, boisterous, hyperactive, doesn't really listen. And we also learn that Fizz is a bit of a tattletale. But they watch a video, they manage to calm down and be quiet enough to watch a video of children playing musical instruments, and this gives them the idea to create their own. And then we have something that took me straight back to my childhood. They have messy time where they create their own instruments, and this is something I did countless times. Interestingly, they didn't do what I would have expected them to do, and that's putting elastic bands around a tissue box to create a guitar. That's something I did a lot of. But they do make various other instruments. Fizz's is a little bit random, and I feel like they could have done the guitar thing and it would have made a lot more sense, and also would have been easier to replicate, because who has just random wooden blocks at home? Well, some children have wooden building blocks. I don't know if I ever did. I maybe did. I'm not sure. But anyway, they create these musical instruments out of everyday objects, things you'd find in your recycling, and that's something that children can replicate at home or in the classroom. And then they learn to listen to each other, a little bit of education there, to play as a band, the Tweenies. Max, during news time is a segment I had no recollection of, but it's basically recounting the activities of the day, which I think is a really great way to end a nursery session, to allow children to exercise their memory and think back on what they've achieved, what they've learned, what they've had fun doing. And I love the way Max spoke to the Tweenies. It's a very well written set of dialogue during news time, because he speaks to them in a way that they're definitely, children are going to find fun, engaging, silly. And yeah, sure, the internet has kind of ruined the character of Max for me, but I think that the interaction there is great. We're also introduced to Judy and Doodles in this one, so it's a pretty great start to the Tweenies. It's a very fun show, it's educational. The characters, I feel like everybody's going to be able to relate to at least one of the characters. We do have a good mix of personalities there, and as I said, watching it now, I can really see why I loved this show, why it was very popular. I'm not sure if it's that popular today. I don't really see that much merchandise out and about, but I don't know, it could still be very popular, but certainly I loved it. The theme song especially gave me such great nostalgia. It was wonderful to start watching this. The episode itself, I couldn't remember, it didn't come back to me, but nevertheless, the nostalgia was fun, and I can completely see why this show was a hit.